I guess meeting a business partner is the same way as you could potentially meet your lover, right? It's just kind of get yourself out there, get seen, and then people will kind of can see where the synergy comes in, yeah?
Some people say, oh, I really want to have someone who is fun, successful and things like that. And then they kind of go to the pub or, stuff like that. You're not going to find fun, successful people at the pub. They're at the golf course, a tennis court.
Oh, did you? Oh, so you found...
except for Jacqui.
Let's hear her story. Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Rise and Shine Show. It's Linh Podetti here.
Jennifer Ko.
Jacqui Ashley.
And today we're going to talk about how to find your ideal partner in business and life. But before we get to that, I want to introduce my marketing manager. She's going to come in and actually ask us a question around love. Since we're talking about relationship and love, you might as well make it interesting, right? Come on down.
And we can't rehearse around this either, so.
Lynn, how did you manage to get such a beautiful marketing manager? Oh my God, come over here.
Come over here, let me just give you a cuddle. Isn't it she beautiful?
How did you get
All right,
you pick.
Thank you so much.
I'm reading it now. Okay, guys. I'm gonna pick Linh first for this question. Ooh. What is your wildest fantasy?
Let me go over the gosh, Annie, that's Annie.
Fantasy.
Oh my God.
If my kids are watching.
Wildest fantasy, Linh.
Okay, I used to be obsessed with Wentworth Miller from Prison Break. I fantasize kissing him, meeting him in the lift and saying hello, and I really thought I was going to marry him until one day he turned out gay, and that's it. And now I'm married, so yeah, that dream's gone. How about yours?
Okay, Jacqui.
Okay, fantasy. Maybe wildest fantasy. Use hubby, come and join me under the waterfall.
Waterfall? Like literal waterfall? I
don't know, but suddenly I'm just thinking about when we went abseiling one day. It was this massive waterfall. I'm thinking, well, you've asked this question. I'm like, that sounds good.
Beautiful.
Give them a kiss on the water.
Oh, like a romantic scene.
Okay. Well, my wildest fantasy. Well, I'm probably the most boring person out there. So
come on, Jen. If it's too boring, we're going to get you to answer again.
It's interesting because since Linh is going with, what can I say? Lynn's going with
Wentworth
Miller.
I know who she's talking about.
I will probably think that my wildest fantasy is probably to meet Keanu Reeves.
No, not meet, kiss Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves.
Well, I haven't turned that wild yet, but for a first start, I wouldn't mind meeting him first because for some reason I had a feeling that I'm going to meet him, and the funniest thing was I started searching up on him. I thought, wow, he's a nice guy. Wouldn't be a bad guy to meet. So that'll probably be my wildest fantasy because I'm usually pretty tame.
Love it. All right, well, let's get to business now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about ideal business partner first, right? So let me start. I've had a lot of business partners in the past, and I think the biggest thing I've learned from it is that I was always looking for people with the skill for getting the value. It's like if you're meeting any friends or any lover, it comes down to the value, not that this person enjoys doing some activities with you or has a skill set. And so I think that was a big example. And so we kind of started off well, and then things change because if values are glued, then no matter what changes happen in business, we will continue. But that's kind of the tip and the experience I've had. How about yourself?
For me, in business, right? So we'll talk about business first. I have really never had business partners. We've always done partners, business at home or like home business, family business, but not really partnership business.
Like external people.
So external people. So I usually have trust issues, and so that was one of the things. And with skill sets like Linh said, usually we just employ them or outsource them, so that's not a problem. But I have never really wanted business partner until I found someone that Jack and I have been friends for a long time, and I think we were looking to do something together, thinking, but we were waiting for the right person. And one day I found her on Facebook Live.
Oh, that's sweet. So we're talking about this is kind of a business partner together, even though this project is partnership. And actually it comes down to the fact that for me, I've never met someone and go, all right, now we're going to get into partner. Let's sign some paper and let's agree on something. It's really about dating first. This is kind of dating.
Yeah.
And then when
the
it works,
feelings
yes,
attached to it as well.
before you go and get married.
It's not about skills, not just about skill set,
Yes.
but it's also about as a group. How do we feel
Do you
when
get
we're
along?
connecting
Yes.
with each other? You know what I mean? How does it feel? For me, when I had a business partner, when I first started a recruitment business, we just came with this idea together. And then we kind of sat down and we looked at our skills, we looked at what we were good at, and also values. That was the one thing.
Oh, so you really looked at values.
We did actually look at, okay, what are our interests? What we're both hoping to get out of this. And the other thing is, okay, what would happen if, something falls through or,
So did you ever end up signing some sort of agreement, like almost like a prenuptial, right? Like in business way, did you do that?
Well, I think initially what we did was that we sat down first, because I think initially it's almost like a honeymoon period. You got to get to know each other first to find out, I was lucky in that I knew my friend, we were good friends as well. So the other part of it, as to getting to know her more in the business aspects, we just basically sat down and wrote down each other's skills, etc. And then afterwards, yes, we had a contract.
And that's how the method I think should happen. Like, I mean, if you meet someone and already like, I need to sign something, it's already creating that I don't trust you bit, right? But let's date, let's give value to one another, and if it just feels so natural, then all right, let's fine tune the details of that. We both will be happy long term, right?
Definitely, there has to be. I mean, what made the decision that we, the three of us, actually come together for this project, for example, is the fact that I can see that there's an alignment in our values, in our attitudes, in our drive,
in our future goals and what we want to do
goals,
in life.
Plus, the big part is that it's important is complementary skill sets.
Yeah.
So that was for me when I had all that in a row, and I just knew, because I knew what I was looking for. So if you are very clear about what you're looking for, you recognize it as soon as you see it. That's why I recognize it.
So next thing is, where did you find your business partners in the past? For example, you had in the past.
Well, actually, okay. So interesting for me, my business. We were just chatting over one day because we were friends.
Oh, you're friends already.
So we're already friends through another connection. So through friends of friends. So you get a.
But you're not too close. You're kind of like you're not like friends that you hang out all the time.
No, we were friends that were hanging out quite frequently, and that is the other thing, is that you got to be careful with that too, because if you're really close friends who I think, then you know each other, it can also be a lot more challenging too as a business, right? So we want to make sure that even though we're friends, right, how is this business going to affect us?
Yes.
Right? The friendship.
That's right.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I was networking, went out to meetup events, and then people would notice my skill set or what I'm trying to do, and they, that's how I've networked, or even online. So coming on some mastermind groups or networking groups, and then you kind of meet people virtually there. For us, how we met is through a video on social media. So I guess meeting a business partner is the same way as you could potentially meet your lover, right? It's just kind of get yourself out there, get seen, and then people will can see where the synergy comes in, yeah? Well, let's talk about love then. For me, my partner met me the same way as how you found me, which is on a video on social media. So this 10 years ago, I put myself on YouTube and my husband found me. But what's beautiful about video is, so get on videos, is that they can see you, they can feel you, they can hear you. It's quite clear who you are. So if they do like you and reach out, it's kind of rock solid, right? You're not guessing. How about yourself? How did you meet your partner?
Okay, so I was introduced to him by his brother, actually. His brother saw me at dance practice, and he goes, why don't you dance with my brother? And I was like, well, why do I want to dance with your brother? And he goes, well, he does dance comp. I said, okay, I'll have a go.
So you had a common hobby there.
Yes.
That was already really
So you
cool.
have to, so usually I think the best part about finding partners, I mean, a lot of people kind of go online with no purpose, no intention, or no set goal. So you have to be very clear about what kind of person you want. Some people say, I really want to have someone who is fun, successful, and things like that. And then they kind of go to the pub or, stuff like that. You're not going to find fun, successful people at the pub. They're at the golf course, a tennis court.
Oh, did you? Oh, so you found...
except for Jacqui.
Let's hear her story.
So my theory is completely
Exactly. No judgment. I was just about to say, Yeah. So I met my husband actually at a pub.
Drinking, alcohol, everything.
Drinking,
Yep.
and I guess that was the most traditional way, I guess, the most common or,
Back then, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
No swiping then, is it?
no swipe. It wasn't
Okay.
left or right
Okay.
swiping. It was just, how are you? Get to know you. And at first it's like, yeah.
So you're really lucky that you got along in business and stuff. So how did it turn from a casual kind of conversation at a club to something more
relationship,
serious?
yeah.
Well, 20 years of relationship, you do get to know someone very, very intimately, and
How long have you been married now?
We've been together 20 years.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah. So I met him at a pub, got to know him, and just, I think it's from there, it was like, okay, I'll just get to know you as a person. I wasn't expecting, you're going to be the one, yeah. It wasn't on my mind at that moment. It was just like, yeah, I'll see where this takes me, and
So you kind of fluked it, right?
Yeah, I can say I flicked it. However, in the back of my mind, I was actually saying to myself, I want to meet this kind of person, this kind of person.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
attention.
So the commonality between us three and how we found our partner is that, or the final one that serious, is that we knew exactly what we want.
Yes.
We wrote
Yes.
down almost our shopping list. I call it a
Yes.
shopping list. And I also was really clear about what I don't want in that person.
Yes.
Now, if you know that, you might attract them in various ways, but you got to get out there. If you're sitting at home and go, I hope I'm going to meet someone, or I'm not into dating sites, I'm not into meeting through people, then you're just sabotaging your opportunity. You got out there at a club, you were at dancing, enjoying your life, and you found someone that's in common with the dancing. My husband saw my video regarding business, so of course we have commonality in entrepreneurship. And so that is how we kind of met together.
So that was quite interesting. But here's a quick. I've always been quite interested in the top 3 things that you say that you must have, and the top 3 things that you don't want to have. What's that for you?
Okay. For me, the top one was I finally asked for something I've never asked before. I used to only ask for cute-looking guys with abs. That's all I got, and then the relationship just always ends. No, I wonder why. But for this time, it was very clear. Like I want him to be ambitious. I didn't need him to be rich or anything, but I want him to be ambitious. So that means it goes going somewhere. I'll just share 2 things since we're running out of time. But then what I don't want, for example, is that jealousy. Because I'm such a free spirit person, and the last relationship really taught me how it feels to be so controlled by someone, and I was so against it that it was like a big jealousy.
Yeah.
And oh my god, my husband is the most non-jealous type. Just like you can go out anywhere. How about yourself? What was your
What was the
best one and best?
The best one when to? Okay, I just need to have someone that I feel like they have to be really kind. So that was number 1 thing for me. And number 2 is I want someone who's really driven and who's already financially free, because they know how to take something from here and put it out here and make it a reality. A lot of people have dreams, but can you convert their dreams to reality? I need to have someone like that, kind and someone who can convert.
And what was your a deal breaker?
Deal breaker for me. Deal breaker for me is someone who is not driven, because someone who's not driven will actually very boring. And that was I would probably say that was my previous relationship. In my arranged marriage, I was with someone who wasn't driven, and that was a deal breaker. The other thing for me is when someone who is who doesn't dance, because I love
Because it was such a big value to you.
because for me, dancing, I do ballroom and Latin and New Vogue and things like that. So for me, dancing is a huge part of our relationship, that we could actually do something together, something that we can go social together, grow together, something we can relax and have fun together. So
and it's okay to ask for that, because you'd rather ask in advance and know what you want than meet someone and go, I want to change that person into that.
I wouldn't want to change anyone. So if I meet somebody like that, I just accept it as the way it is.
Yeah. How about yourself?
For me, deal breaker is stingy or selfishness.
I hate that too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You go in and you're like,
So against my
split
values,
the 5 cents between,
Yes.
no, sorry, but it doesn't cut it.
Yeah, that's not manly.
Yeah,
for
no.
me, yeah.
Independent, right? I want to be the relationship where, it doesn't have to be massively rich or anything, but independent to begin with, but driven.
Yeah.
to get to the point where he wants something. I think that's
the
what we
common.
have in common, right?
Yeah. Now, but the most important thing is you could have all of that, but you don't sit there and go, I'm going to meet that person to fulfill me and give me all of that. Because unless you are that person, you can't expect to attract that person. So in that year that I was able to attract my ideal partner, is that I was working on that. Am I kind? Am I that? Or am I this? Because you just can't do that, right? So what was that
absolutely.
like for you too?
I think for me it's the same. So I usually say, if I look in the mirror in the morning, because we all have that wish list, right? So we all have the wish list. So I did the same as Lynn, because I was writing down my wish list too. So I look at my wish list and I put it into my bathroom mirror on the door, on the mirror, and I look at that list every day, and I ask myself, am I this thing? And I have to have a tick next to all the things I ask for in my partner, because if I'm not that thing, I know that person won't look back at me. And so I put it, and every morning, if I look at something and I feel like I'm not quite there yet, I'll work so hard to fulfill that part of me, so that I can also gift to that other person that's going to come into my life. And I think we can't recognize what we don't have. So I'm sure that if I am, then they can recognize it.
So here's the other thing though. Think about this. Do you believe you deserve that kind of person?
Yes.
So for me, that's really, really important. You know, I believe I'm worthy of this person, because if you're not, and you have a certain belief like I'm not worthy, you're going to attract that kind of person.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, in the next video, we're going to talk about self-love. So we'll get into that. The last point I want to make is also like, let's say this is what we spoke about last week actually, like you want to attract this sensible guy that's mature, that is a gentleman, and yet if you're dressing and, you know, like let's say you're dressing in a not appropriate way, you're acting, then just be careful at what you're trying to portray, right?
Yes.
Or if you're wanting a serious guy, but yet you're just drinking at a club or something, then just be mindful, like who are you trying to attract? Because who will like you? Because a serious guy wouldn't like you in that way, right?
Well, how do you want to be perceived, really, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So dress how you want to be perceived.
Yeah.
And ladies, for all those ladies who's out there thinking that, you know, I've got to flaunt it. No, you don't have to flaunt it. You can dress nicely, and sometimes the wet t-shirt look is always a lot more sexy. You know, it's like some people kind of go, okay, I've got to.
Jen, there's the wild side there.
No, it's just like, I've seen women outside, seriously, and they're like dressing, and the boobs are popping out. You know, butt cheeks are hanging out. Why? We have it, but we don't need to show it all. We just leave it to the imagination. That's what I call the wet t-shirt. Leave it to the imagination.
Literally,
okay.
Yes, I'm not asking to, you know, strut around in your wet
I
t-shirt.
suddenly imagine Jen with that.
So all I say is wet t-shirt look is always a lot nicer than naked. Naked. Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap up, guys. We'd love to hear from you. You know, do you have a shopping list? What is the one important thing that you're looking for in a guy? Because you never know, in the comments below, you could be finding that person right there, right?
Or what is your deal breaker?
Yes, that's a deal maker too. So I'd love to hear your comments below, or if you share the same values as us, love to hear.
Let us know.
Yeah, love it.
Yes. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so that you get notification for when our video's up. It's Linh Podetti.
Jennifer Ko.
Jacqui Ashley.
See you next time.
Bye.